Yes, it is.
It's, if you take care of yourself, just eating healthy foods and just being aware of, like, you are what you eat, and that's literally true. You are what you eat. Your cells produce and reproduce based on what you feed them, and that's what your body is made of, your skin, your hair, your nails. And so just taking care of yourself. For me, I have to always, stay in optimal health. I'm a vegetarian just because I want to be, I feel like a plant-based diet, I just feel better. Mm-hmm. And I want to be at optimal health so I can run my business as well and, be effective as a parent and just, I want to feel good. Like, as long as I'm here, I just at least want to be feeling good. So, all of those things combined. But just, reading books and listening to your elders and, whatever it is. Like, for me, I'm a very spiritual person, but whatever it is that you believe in, stick to it and don't waver on that. Like, stand for what you believe in and have faith. And that's my secret. Like, just trusting the process.
Oh yeah, trusting the process. That whenever I hear those three words in that unison, I always think back to my boy Inky Johnson and his speaking, and he talks about trusting the process. And if you never heard Inky Johnson speak, you definitely need to, Dawn. Definitely need to.
Well, then I would love to hear that. So maybe after we talk, maybe shoot me a link and I'll check it out.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely find something for you. But so this is the thing, right? You mentioned the book. It's called The Four Agreements.
The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, R-U-I-Z. The Four Agreements. It's definitely one of my favorite books ever.
Okay, awesome.
Very easy, short read.
Yeah, I need to add that to my list. We are big time readers here. We know the importance of reading and how much information and knowledge is inside of books, and we are all about growing and becoming better every day. So we're readers. So thank you for that. I've actually never heard of that book, which is a rare thing.
An amazing book.
Yes, and it's crazy because being in the entrepreneurial world and being around a bunch of different entrepreneurs, business owners, successful people, they all talk about reading and how much of an impact that reading has had on them. And a lot of times you hear the same types of books, the Think and Grow Riches, the Rich Dad Poor Dad. You hear the big name books that they all read, but I have never heard that book until today. So thank you.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. So I can't. So after you read it, please touch base with me.
Oh, I sure will.
Know what you thought about it. Like, everybody that's ever read it, they love it.
I sure will. Now you talked about something that's important, in that secret, which is, it's really not a secret. People just act like things are a secret. They act like they don't know. I just think a lot of people like to live in ignorance, but that's another story. But you saying, speaking to your elders and listening to your elders, and that's one of the ways to gain wisdom. Your elders may be someone that's a year older than you. They may be someone that's 20, 30 years older than you. It depends on the situation. But as you talked about, the longer you live, the more things you go through in life, the more situations, the more experiences, the more hard times, the more battles, the more fights that you have been through, the more that you learn from it after going through them. So yes, someone who's been on this earth longer than you, who may not have as much book knowledge as you may have, but they have world knowledge, and that's where the true wisdom is gained, and dealing with experiences. So a lot of people have mentors. I believe, I'm a firm advocate that everyone should have a mentor for every aspect of their life. Do you share that same feeling about having a mentor in every aspect of your life?
Yeah, I do. I mean, yes, and I've had mentors my entire life that I can recall since the preteen, and different mentors along the way for different phases of my life. I definitely feel like having a mentor, when you talk about professionally, you want that mentor to have experience in my life as far as big careers and big stuff to be mentored by them, and that's how I really learn and get advice. So, you know, when I started to get into doing, you know, online and doing my first business, Urban Star, we definitely had a mentor. Even young, you know, before I went to college and through high school, I had a mentor just helping me, coaching me to try to figure out what I wanted to do in my life. Always have some type of like a life coach person for my personal life, like as that type of a mentorship, just for a balanced perspective on things that I may go through in my life that I don't want to talk to a friend or a family about, because I want like really objective feedback, you know.
Yes.
So mentorship, I mean, it's very important. It's had a huge role in my personal and professional career. Now, even to the point where like I have advisors on my advisory board, and they're like formal mentors who are, you know, have equity in my company just to give me advice and just to help guide me. And then I have people that I reach out to. I have a list of like, this is a lot of people, but like 300 people that I've come in contact with over the past probably 5 years. And I send out a monthly newsletter to them and telling them when I'm working on, asking for their advice on things that I'm doing. And a lot of them reply back and say things to me, you know, or give me advice or make introductions or connections. So, you know, there's many different ways that you can receive mentorship. Maybe not always just one person or, you know, one situation with someone could come and just drop some information and some jewels on you really quickly out of nowhere and then, you know, disappear. So it's like a reason, season, or a lifetime, they say, that people come. So I've had many people in my life come in and out of my life that have brought valuable things, whether it be short-term or long-term. But it's definitely important to have someone there. Never try to go at this thing called life by yourself, especially entrepreneur life. You'll definitely lose your mind. It's a guaranteed way to lose your mind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've learned firsthand. You know, when I first started out, I didn't really know about mentors, or I didn't really have that mentality. I was in a poor mindset. I can admit it. Y'all know I'm transparent on this show and on the whole network, but you know, I was in that place where I was trying to figure out, okay, so I want to make sure that my children don't have to go through the same things that I went through. So I'm going to work hard each and every day. I don't care if I have to work 20 hours in a day. I'm going to do it so I can give them a better life. And then as I started doing it, I started realizing, yeah, I had the money to do the things for them that I wanted to do, but then I didn't have the time to do anything with them because I was always at work. And so it was like, all right, you know what? It's something better than this. So I started my entrepreneurial endeavors about 7 years ago, and I was just going everything by myself, just everything. It was just, I got this. I don't need no help. I know what I'm doing, and it was horrible. Dawn, it was horrible. It was so. Right. It was so just destructive. It was horrible. So, you know, as I went through it, and then I started to get feedback from other people, and they may not have had experience, but their information, their feedback, it was a form of mentorship that I really didn't know. And, you know, it helped me grow from where I was 7 years ago to where I'm at now. So it was definitely big for me. And like for you personally, like, can you expound on like the direct impact that some mentors have had on you since you first started your entrepreneurial businesses 15 years ago?
I mean, the impact is really just, you know, getting great advice, making great connections for me, being a sounding board, you know, a person that I could talk to in confidence. I mean, of course, I don't always agree with everything they say, and I don't always even go along with what they say. But it's important, I think, to have a balanced perspective. You know, like I said, mentors have come and gone. Like, sometimes you outgrow people, including mentors. Or sometimes it's, you know, it's not really relevant at the time what you're doing, that you may need someone else to give you that type of a guidance or feedback. But just having somebody there that I can call or email, and then, you know, one of my mentors who's been my mentor since I was like 12, and now it's like a father figure, you know. So
yeah,
it's great to just have somebody there. Really.
That's amazing. Now, you said you had a list of about 300, and this is the end of the mentoring talk. But how do you choose a mentor? What kind of ways do you go about actually seeing value in this person and wanting them to be a mentor to you and to accepting their advice or just listening to their advice?
I mean, in most cases, they kind of choose me because they see something in me, you know, like themselves. But I have sought out a couple mentors, low-key stalked, like trying to get to, like, just, you know, because these are like more professional mentors. And I'm like, no. Like, I remember when I first started, flat out, I read Display of Power by Damon John, and that's how I basically followed his roadmap, how he started FUBU, and really used that as a way, a guide when I was starting Flat Out of Heels. So I was like, okay, well, I want Damon to be my mentor. So I seen him at an event like 4 years ago and walked up to him, talked to him. Then he ended up agreeing to go to lunch with me, and we've been in touch since then. And we've met many times, and he's, you know, I can send him an email and ask him questions, and he replies. And that's great. And, you know, that's very helpful to have that insight, and he's willing to make connections for me. Same thing with Lisa Price of Carol's daughter. Like, I just admire and adore her to death, and I've always thought she was an amazing woman just from reading about her for all these years. And, you know, I've told myself, like, you know, she's done exactly what I want to do. She built a brand, and it was acquired by a major brand, L'Oreal. So I want to talk to her. I want to know how she did that. And, you know, basically just, I was in a hit competition this year called Innovate Her through the SBA. Lisa was a judge. I came in second place in the competition and asked the people, like, listen, I need to be in touch with her. Like, we have to talk.
Yeah. And
for the past about 3 or 4 months, she and I have been in contact, and she's been very helpful to me. So, you know, those are huge, huge people that, you know, now just a few that I kind of, I call it baby stalk to get them to be my mentor. But I think that it has to be mutual as well. Like, people like that, people like them, there's other people always draining them, wanting information from them, always wanting them to do something for them. So it's like, it's important too that you bring something to the table as well.
Oh yeah.
Things should be mutually beneficial. So it's like, it's more than just saying, what can I do, what can I take from you, but like really building a relationship and trying to get to know the person on a human level, where it's not just like you're taking, because like I said, people like Damon and Lisa and other people that are pretty well-known, prominent, or wealthy people, you can imagine how they're inundated with questions and requests constantly. So just, you know, also have to show your value. And it's important, too, when you're approaching somebody like that, to be ready. You know, I get approached a lot by people, by entrepreneurs who want advice or connections, and a lot of times they don't come correct. And I don't respond. I mean, I'll reply, but I don't respond as far as what they need, because you can't approach a person and you don't have your shit together. Excuse my language, but you don't go to a person and you haven't figured it out yet. You haven't figured out your way. So when I go to a person, I'm so thorough. Like, I'm aiming to impress them, and I've done my research. I know all about you. I've read every article that you put out. I can quote articles. Like, you just have to show that you are not just wasting the time. You have to be ready, and that's what I was, and it's always very well received.
That is awesome. And it's funny because, you know, the baby stalking thing is something I'm actually doing right now. I actually just told myself a couple months ago that Damon John was going to be my mentor as well, and I went to one of his events. He wasn't there. Then I'm going to another one, the Get Motivated seminar, which is, I think, next week, and he's supposed to be speaking there. So I'm just going to find my way up to him. I'm okay. I'm very personable, so I'll just go anywhere, and I'm just all in everything. So yes, that is something that's real. The baby stalker mode It is definitely real. It is definitely real.
And it's okay. I mean,